Back at it.
We back.
You just rip that up? You just ripped that up?
You drinking them old cans of Gatorade. Roman found them at like a vintage shop.
No, they're new cans. They're from Amazon.
It looks like a flyer.
Yeah, what's your you just rip up anything that's here? That's nice.
This guy just thinks he fucking does what he wants.
It's unbelievable. What?
It wasn't good.
No.
What was it?
It was a thing that was mine.
Like you were gonna save it?
Yeah, I was
Maybe
gonna.
he was. He collects them.
Now I feel like an asshole.
Well, you
You should.
Anyway, this is great banter. Welcome to the SVW podcast.
Sorry about that.
My name is Roman. I'm here as always with Eck,
Yep.
Gunky Mane, aka the Gunk,
You.
and a very special guest, J.A. What's up, J.A.?
Oh, I'm not happy to be here. You know, we're here on a very sad note.
Heel JA.
R.I.P. Sabu.
I know.
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
get into that soon. We've got a big episode for you guys today, as per usual. We're going to talk through Backlash, some of those angles, Jeff Cobb, R-Truth. What'd you guys think about that?
It was an okay pay-per-view. Nothing crazy. It didn't blow right. Some of those matches could have been like good, like Raw matches.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought it was decent enough. It's what it was supposed
Yeah,
to be.
it's not a big pay-per-view, so
Well, it's the first one after Mania.
Yeah,
you know
very
what I mean?
predictable, but they're just trying to end close storylines, advance storylines. We just finished Mania. Jeff Cobb was awesome to see him show
Yeah.
up there. That was a surprise, and of course the R-Truth stuff was pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, we got Money in the Bank coming up. What do you guys, who you guys got? We're going to talk through that.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. Always a fun pay-per-view.
I got
every
my
year.
Always a
fave
fun
who I'd like to see.
Yeah, always a fun
I used to hate
pay-per-view.
the pay-per-view. I liked the gimmick, obviously, but I
The
just
gimmick's
hated.
great.
I hated that. I hated.
I always felt like it was a give or take thing where they could possibly like have a cool run with it, or like it's just a flop, which
Right,
we've
yeah.
seen happen.
Yeah. But it's just. It grew on me, the pay-per-view. I don't like pay-per-views named after the gimmick match, you know what I mean? Like TLC, Extreme Rules. Like, I'm not a big fan of that.
Hell
Right.
so.
So I didn't like this. I always liked my Money in the Bank.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, I
Royal
liked my
Rumble.
Money in the Bank at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania is not a
Well, no,
match.
I thought he was saying originally Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. I always
Yes, it
loved
was.
that. That was always something to look forward to. But Money in the Bank, the pay-per-view has grown on me. I am a fan of it now, and I'm looking forward to it this year. I feel like they can do something really cool and do some cool storylines moving forward.
No, I totally agree. Then, of course, we're going to switch over to the other side of the Wrestling Cinematic Universe. We're going to talk AEW. MJF joining the Hurt Business.
We hurt people. We hurt people.
Ops and Death Riders. Owen Hart Cup final. What'd you guys think about this week?
It was just an episode. I haven't watched. I'll be honest. I haven't been keeping up with it, but I did watch last night. You know, and I figured I want to get back into really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was solid. It was okay.
For sure. And then, of course, before we leave, we're going to get into some quick hits. Ospreay taking shots at WWE. Velveteen Dream back in the news for better or for worse. Swerve's getting some sneakers.
I don't think you could get rid of better there. There's
Yeah, I guess
there's,
there's
there's
yeah.
no
You're
for
right,
better.
you're right.
when it
It's
comes
just
to
worse.
VD.
It's just worse for Velveteen Dream. And, of course, the Good Brothers find a new home.
Otherwise known as VD, venereal disease.
Oh, my God. But before we get into all that, we had a sad weekend. Absolute wrestling legend, ECW original.
At 60 years old.
Yeah.
61.
And friend of the show, Sabu, passed away.
Yeah,
this
it was
weekend.
awesome when we definitely got some funny stories when he came by the shop. He would come hang out during WrestleMania. People were like, you know that Sabu's upstairs? We're like,
Yeah, he was just hanging.
Surprise.
Yeah, it's
I was watching an interview with Paul Heyman, the older one. He was just talking about guys that were ahead of their time and should have been bigger than what they were, and it was really just a timing thing. Where had he once WWE took over ECW with more eyes on him, if he didn't beat himself up so much, you know what I mean, entertaining us, that it could have been even bigger and more influential.
Yeah.
Well, he is everything that ECW stood for, and there would be no ECW without him, because the reason he didn't get his flowers and the reason he didn't ever have a big run in WWE or WCW is because he was just authentically himself through and through, no matter what, whether in the ring, out of the ring. He was Sabu, and he wasn't going to conform to anybody's work style. He wasn't gonna stop doing the high spots. He wasn't going to stop using the tables. He wasn't going to stop using the chairs. And that's why people loved him. That's why he was that's why he's an underground legend.
I still kind of disagree. He did have he wasn't on top like Hogan for 5 years, but the man was in the fucking ring with John Cena. Not too many people can really say that. That's a huge deal.
True.
Well, I mean, it's and I mean, speaking of the greatness of John Cena, he knew to let Sabu be Sabu.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why Cena's so great.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
because,
to your point,
because
what you're saying.
he said, I mean, that announce table spot is infamous. That's such a fucking great spot, and it's because Cena knew the greatness of Sabu and let him be Sabu. That's a fucking Sabu spot.
Talking about Sabu, we have to talk about the Sheik, and it's so ironic or coincidental that the Sheik was the dark side of the ring this week. And the one awesome thing about it is we've been the last 10 years. Let's be honest, of Sabu have not been the best 10 years of his life.
Yeah,
he's been sad. He's been depressed at the convention scene and etc. He hasn't really been able to wrestle for the last few years. When his partner Melissa Coates, the gypsy, passed away,
the
Genie. I mean, his life really had. He felt like. We heard this from friends of his. That he kind of lost himself when she lost her life. But let's go back to good times. Like I said, you can't talk about him without talking about the Sheik. Him and Rob Van Dam, two of the most influential wrestlers of all time, trained together underneath the Sheik.
There's no RVD without
extreme.
And there's no RVD without Sabu.
The two best tag teams, in my opinion, that came from ECW were RVD and Sabu and the Eliminators. Those were just two amazing tag teams. I know everyone's going, the Dudleys! Well, it wasn't, in my opinion, the Dudleys.
Hey, you're entitled to your opinion.
Total Elimination is like the craziest fucking finisher
Insane.
ever. Makes 3D look like a fucking Disney ride. So Sabu, you learns from the Sheik. The Sheik had a resurgence that you'll find out in Dark Side of the Ring at the end of his career. Takes Sabu with him over to Japan. So he's in Japan. That's where I first learned about him, through those tapes that you could trade or buy, like FMW. He was on the cover of one, and that was how I first heard about him. And then he makes his way to back to America. Huge with ECW. Just like insane how influential, popular. And ECW was a resurgence for pro wrestling too. You got the Doink characters going on and the TJL Hoppers or whatever in WWE, and people are like looking for this other kind of wrestling. And it was Rob Van Dam, Sabu, the Sandman, Raven that helped create this. And it was great for the WWF because it brought those people that were upset
over to the main product.
Yeah, they're like, I'm going to watch everything else now because I'm watching wrestling again.
Right.
There is no ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling without Sabu. There just isn't. It's I mean, you look at what the roster was when they're changing from Eastern Championship to Extreme Championship, and for the new guys, they had the Snookas, they had the obviously the franchise, but like, moving forward, it's like the newer guys that they were really using was like Taz and RVD. Taz and Sabu. So there you go. And what was Taz there to do? Fucking put Sabu over. That's the whole reason Taz was originally there. So they
started off as tag team partners together. It was actually, I would say, of the 90s, the two greatest build-ups of pro wrestling matches was Taz versus Sabu and Hogan versus Sting. Both of them had like 3-year build-ups to finally until we got to the threshing point. So Sabu gets to ECW. He's teaming with Taz, and then eventually headlines a pay-per-view with him. He was originally built from Saudi Arabia.
So
but then Bombay, Michigan, one of my favorite hometowns of all time.
Bombay, Michigan.
But you look at that, and you look at the clear plan they had. It's like, Sabu is ECW. There is no
Absolutely.
ECW without him. There's no the wrestling we know and love today. There's no tables. I mean, obviously people did a table like I know.
but not like
but if
him.
you
No,
look
no,
at, like,
Macho Man and Ricky Morton infamously,
it's funny.
did a table spot.
And not just
but
them.
Ricky
Memphis
Morton
was
mentioned.
if Memphis wrestling in general, late 70s, early 80s. You referenced the Macho Man spot.
Yeah.
The Moondogs were doing
Yeah.
stuff with tables, but Memphis was doing like wacky, wild, crazy stuff and
Yeah, it
innovative
wasn't
stuff.
to the level of
Now,
like what Sabu was doing.
now you watch him the way he works the ropes. You know, he like it's like watching an Olympiad do
He
her
was
gymnast
ahead of his
routine.
time. Now you see these guys do
My
stuff.
favorite Jay
You
gives.
see these guys do this stuff like the current batch of new guys doing these type of like spots and all this stuff.
also,
Sabu started that
also,
shit. Like to
100%.
brought it to. I mean, maybe it's not start, but he brought it to the forefront of like, yo, I want to see some crazy, like, you know what I mean?
and you know what? And JA hates this word so much, but I'm gonna say it. Like, nobody botched better than Sabu. And he would fuck up a decent
100%.
amount, but it looked so authentic, and it looked so. It just looked like it. It didn't even. It wasn't even a botch.
Of course, it
just looked so fucking natural.
Of course,
it just,
it's authentic. It's a combat.
everything
move.
looked manic, and it fucking
Does
it worked so perfect. When he fucked up, it looked well. Like everything about him fit his character, and there was
definitely fit
the aura. He was aura before aura was even a fucking meme word. It was him.
There's balls and strikes in baseball. Does that mean they botched the pitch?
Well, if you fucking walk somebody, yeah, that's a
I would
botch.
say so.
Yes, kind of. Actually.
Thankfully, me and Gunk were there to see his last match.
Yeah, for real.
And I was thinking about it the other day. I got some really crazy fucking footage. I was sitting front row for it, and I mean, this guy
I hate
I hate to
it-
be
does
sitting
it-
behind the gong.
Does it mean that much more to you
horrible.
now?
Oh my god! Of course it does.
It should.
I'm wearing my Sabu's last match shirt right
He
now.
sure is.
But you know, like this guy, like he's such
individual.
He's such an indie legend. He came up off of fan tapes.
Yeah.
Like some of his most famous matches, like with Jericho, was like on fan cam. And I was blessed enough. I lived in the same era where I could sit front row, and I got some fan cam footage of
go.
Sabu, and I feel like I don't know. I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Also,
As
I
you
hate to
should.
toot my own horn, but I was able to pull some strings together with his team and get him booked on his final public appearance at the Legion of Skanks podcast
Go,
in
help
New
him.
York, and because that was just something I want to
It means a
solve.
lot to all of us, as you
And to comedians like Louis J. Gomez, Big J. Okerson, like the Legion of Skanks, like obviously,
Yeah.
like bro, he transcends all. Like those guys are like the ECW of like comedy right now, and they
can see that.
they love Sabu. You know what I mean? Like
Who doesn't?
like everybody does. Like, and I'm happy I was able to
awesome,
get him on there, so
Yeah.
he could get some flowers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those clips were going crazy all weekend. You know, like
Yeah.
his final appearance clips.
Yeah.
Very blessed I could even be a fraction of a fraction of a
let's just
fraction
go
of a
through-
part of that guy's fucking insane, amazing career.
Two-time ECW world champion, TV champion, 3-time tag team champion, 1 time with Taz, twice with Rob Van Dam. Most importantly, maybe Juggalo Championship world champion.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the ICP. New Japan junior heavyweight champion.
Did he win anything over at XPW? I know he was over there for a little
Yeah,
bit.
he was
Yeah.
an XPW world champion, actually. This is the crazy stat. Dave Meltzer even talked about it. Number 5 PWI 95, and that's
Insane.
that's like The Rock, Austin.
Oh, shit, yeah?
So
He's an indie wrestler.
yeah,
Wow.
indie
Right,
wrestler.
indie guy, yeah.
Like and
And it was close too. He almost made.
Yeah, I mean he's in the top 5. That's insane. So like think about
that's a thing in and of itself to be in a top, because those
And
lists
that's
are like
the
500
monsters.
plus.
That's the monster years. I mean, Hogan, Austin, everybody, just such crazy big names. He also, he won championships all around the world. Europe,
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Sabu
And, something-
have some crazy matches up there in the big steel cage in the sky.
Yeah.
And one of the matches he always talked about with his fans, and when you watch the clips, was with John Cena. How fucking amazing is it that the man was in the ring with John Cena? You know, that just John Cena's not getting in the ring with you if he thinks you're a garbage wrestler. You know, like, there is so much respect for this guy from all across the board in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And I would just like to say it was just a pleasure to meet him, know him, watch his work. It's a fucking legend. He's top 5 greatest wrestlers in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I will. He's top 5 my favorite wrestlers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be truly missed.
People go nuts about it.
I'm bummed. It's felt everywhere.
Well, yeah.
There is no modern wrestling without Sabu.
Sabu.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to the great Sabu. You will be missed. But moving on to something a little lighter.
Yeah, I did not want to be Roman there to have to segue there. That's a tough
Right,
segue.
right.
It's a tough segue, I know.
But thank you, Rome.
Of
And
course.
moving on.
All right, shut up. We had Backlash this past weekend. Overall, okay
It
pay-per-view.
was okay.
Yeah, nothing super like...
Like Gunky said, it's just there to wrap up some stories, kick off some new stories.
I think that was me who said that, but either way. And the only thing we really need to talk about
Sorry,
is...
J.A. I apologize.
Me. Like the 2 big pointers from the event were Jeff Cobb and the maybe after the fact. When
I didn't realize that Jeff Cobb was 42.
Wow, yeah, he's been
That's insane.
Yeah,
It's crazy
I
because
didn't
a
know
lot
that.
of people were saying with the cuts recently that a lot of it was like partially age and what people were getting paid. But then they're like a lot of these guys coming in now are like
Yeah.
older guys. Yeah, that 35 to like 40 kind of is like the prime now almost.
Yeah, I think that's where people are so wrong. Like, it's not the Vince McMahon era. There's no like cookie cutter thing where Vince is looking for this, and that.
Yeah.
I think Triple H takes him on a case by case basis, and you know it is what it is.
Jacob Fatu seemed like he wasn't feeling it though.
So he's
Hell
obviously,
no.
he's obviously I think going to wind up being Jacob Fatu's enforcer.
You think so?
Really?
Because
Jeff
and then,
Cobb?
I feel like Jeff Cobb's
Yeah.
gonna be with Solo, and then that.
I'm sorry, I'm Solo's enforcer.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. So
Oh,
now
yeah,
that
yeah.
as the split continues, it's Jeff Cobb is in the way of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But why go out of the family?
Yeah, you know what? I was just about, and not even out of the family.
Because he,
went-
already fucked up, and all the family don't
Bro,
fuck. Like,
bro,
you know what
not
I mean?
even-
Cool, I
they-
like that.
Not
Hector.
even out of the family, bro. He had to go to a whole different island. He couldn't even get another Samoan.
Guam?
He's like Hawaiian, like Guam, yeah. And also the fucking Tongans. Nobody's noticing this. The fucking Solo Sikoa. This is not the bloodline anymore. These guys are just.
He's fucked up. He brought all these other people. You know what I mean? He did so much with the family. They let him down, or he let them down.
Yeah.
So everybody's just like, whatever. You're talking a lot of shit. Even Jacob, you know what I mean? You see the
I
tension
love
rising
stories that
between
make
them.
sense, and you made sense of it. That he's like worn out
I
his
gotta
welcome.
go outside of
Yeah,
like, the
he
family
wore out
now.
his
Right.
welcome inside the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Nice.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Like that, him versus Jacob Fatu, when
Oh.
it happens, inevitably when it happens,
Yeah.
gonna be insane.
SummerSlam, you think?
Yeah,
I
so
can see
it'll,
that.
yes, but
I can see that.
there'll have to be a Jacob Fatu solo match in there somewhere too, like because he'll be protecting him, you know, and then
Yeah.
eventually
Right,
he'll
yeah.
get to him.
Yeah, he'll do the run in.
I mean, during that match, we had is Drew McIntyre all right? He took that like crazy bump with like
that was wild.
Damian Priest, and it looked like he like straight went to like his head. It looked like he hit his head like off the ground.
Just real quick, back to the bloodline. Like if he if it goes far enough, like Jacob Fatu would be the guy who would continuously go over. He's like the future of the company almost.
Yeah. Surprised? Did you see the list that came out of 2025 most losses? He's like number 3.
Interesting.
Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, it's like they had like 13 losses.
Well, it might be in all
I don't
those-
remember him.
It might be in all those like
some of them were house shows.
like and tag matches with
Yeah,
solo,
yeah.
Yeah,
triple,
that's true, yeah.
3 ways. I'm sorry,
Triple threats.
triple threats.
No, triple,
3 ways are only for the girls.
and 6 man.
Yeah.
Matches.
Right,
So
yeah.
bloodline matches, he probably lost a couple times. That means that like, so if they go far with this, like, and he winds up coming on top of the bloodline will be done, right? Like they've lost so many battles at that point.
Yeah, and then Tamatanga, Tangaloa, they're both hurt.
Yeah, so
Hikuleo, who knows what the fuck is going on?
Right.
I guess
and
I can
Lance
announce 2
down there
cuts
at
for
NXT.
next year after Raw. Those 2 guys. I mean, it looks like the it's gonna
Jacob
fade
brings
away.
Zilla to deal with Jeff Cobb.
Roman Reigns
Yeah.
is a part-time player, so he's not going to like be running the bloodline. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's you're right. It's all breaking apart, and I guess
6-7 year faction though. It's incredible.
Next,
Leo's going to be in the new
Talk
Shield,
about
bro.
LTST.
oh yeah, I forgot. Hikulea's going to be in the new Shield. You know, I saw that again
Yo,
somewhere else.
Right, see, look, watch it happen. I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna sit here. I'm not gonna say nothing when it happens.
The third man.
Sierra Hotel. He's like Hikuleo. It's like, no, bro, you got to say one of the fucking.
Next up, R-Truth. What a shame.
During the well, first he got involved in the
Yeah,
match.
he got involved in the match.
Fucking
and then
little
he got-
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Which that's not right. R-Truth shouldn't be running down there to begin with.
Right. I mean,
now it kind of
it just
what
added to what we were saying. I feel like about the pay per view in general. It was a okay pay per view.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. Like I might even say like C plus.
Right.
B, you know what I mean? The feeling of watching Randy and Cena in there was amazing. But like the match was okay. I feel like they definitely. I mean, they both are older guys now.
Yeah.
Randy looks like he could still fucking go with whoever. Cena's Cena. He's more of a showman. You know
Cena
what I mean?
looks like he skipped a couple of leg days, huh?
Yeah, like what I'm saying, like they're getting old. You
The
know
top
what I mean?
of his
Like,
body is like way bigger than.
so
the
I would like to
bottom.
see like a little more like hardcore, like you know what I mean, like a little
Yeah.
like little
So-
more to it, a little like this shit's on the line. You know what I mean? Like
his wife Orton's wife gave Cena the finger after the match. You see that?
oh no, I didn't see that. Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
poor R-Truth at the took
So-
an AA at the press conference.
I think he'll be the. I hate to spoil this, but I think that people are upset about CM Punk supposedly not being the Money in the Bank opponent for Cena. I think it'll be R-Truth.
All right, well, I think Saturday main
It's
event.
gonna be Saturday night's main event. Probably.
Yeah.
What, R-Truth versus Cena?
Yeah,
Right.
and then somebody was like, they should have R-Truth win. Only have it for like a week, you know what I mean, or till like Raw, like 3 days. Give the man his little like last, like Zack
Yeah.
Ryder, you know what I mean, like Matt Cardona when he won the Intercontinental or United
Yeah.
States, and then like dropped it like 2 days later or whatever. Same type of situation. You give them their flowers, bro. Appreciate everything you did for the business. Makes sense with the story. Now you get Cena getting what 17 title, right? Like you know what I mean. He get added like a 17 time.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that, you know.
Well, Ricochet proved once again that the internet community is just a bunch of fake people. He did a autograph signing over the weekend, and he's like, "Man, there was 400 or 500 people at my autograph signing. Not one person told me I sucked. Not one person called me bald." So these
They
people
were there to see him.
So these people out there complaining about R-Truth, it's just one or two people with 500 accounts. R-Truth versus John Cena on his way out makes total sense. It's a
Total
great,
sense.
yeah, it's fucking amazing.
But
Fuck
that's
you,
like
idiot.
super long-term storytelling. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
my favorite wrestler as a kid. Like, bro, you're older than
It
him.
is kind of well. I
Well, yeah,
mean, you still watch him as a kid though. It's completely different. Doesn't
Ricochet is kind of fucking dumb for that because, to be fair, you could literally just be like you could send a tweet for free, just talking shit about somebody.
That is true.
You would have to call. You would have to go to the place,
Yeah, exactly.
pay for a
That's
ticket,
what I'm saying.
wait
Someone's
in
going
line
to a
to be like,
Ricochet
"You're
signing."
bald and you suck." When
Yeah.
you could just tweet it within
Yeah,
for
who's like,
seconds.
who's like,
No way,
yeah,
no
I'm gonna go to
energy.
this
And these
Ricochet
people-
signing and really
We'll
let
touch,
him know
we'll touch a
what's
little
up.
more on that later.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, a bunch of
Fair enough.
losers out there on the internet. Such losers.
Okay.
Before we move on, what would y'all grade the pay-per-view?
We're gonna be.
I feel like a solid C plus.
Yeah, I would say C plus.
B
yeah.
maybe pushing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, I would
It was
agree.
fine.
with
I
C
enjoyed it.
plus.
Yeah, big.
yeah.
Well, yeah, with Money in the Bank coming up, who do you guys want to see win that briefcase?
Kira Tozawa.
Braun
Give me already
Breaker
one.
walking around with it would look
Ew.
pretty cool.
Fuck that.
Karrion Cross.
I
I like
hate-
to see Karrion Cross. I feel like that'd be a good way to keep that push kind of going
Yeah.
with him.
Man, you know what?
You know, puppeteering people along the way, like
I like
manipulating
Karrion
shit
Kross.
behind the scenes to the right moment.
Not mad at it.
Because it makes sense though.
good.
To me, it makes sense because his whole stick was kind of the manipulating people. You know what I mean? The Karrion Cross effect, as they say. You know what I mean? If you cross paths, even if you beat him, you were different after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe he's manipulating his way to the right
Good.
situation to cash in.
LTST, you ready for this? I'll make
Do
everybody
tell.
happy.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
Watch this. I'll make everybody happy.
I mean, only if you swallow.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Logan Paul wins the Money in the Bank championship. Logan Paul, at some point, maybe SummerSlam, cashes in on one Jey Uso.
Yeet.
Logan Paul has a nice
One
little...
word.
Logan Paul has a nice little run until WrestleMania, where the fan favorite at this point, the red hot Karrion Kross, defeats him because it's long-term storytelling. Remember, he's like, AJ, you got to beat him. You got to be the one to beat him. Karrion, you got to be the one to beat him now. You take the
little
championship back. He's
flip
the
back to
biggest fucking
WrestleMania.
face in the company.
That's all good and fun,
LTST.
except for I have Sami Zayn bidding Uso for the world title at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a snooze fest.
a snooze fest.
Yeah.
Who do you think, Roman?
like
who
Gupke.
would you like to see win the
I'm
Money in the
not
Bank?
mad at Karrion Kross. I also, I like Penta for it. Especially
See, I could just see Penta just like getting a title opportunity and just being there.
No, totally.
I like with the Money in the Bank. I'd like a story to kind of go with it. Like, you know what I mean?
You're
Like,
right.
and that's why I want the Karrion Kross, like controlling shit. Yeah, manipulating situations.
That is good.
and stuff.
You know
I
what's
feel
weird
that.
about Penta for me is when we used to watch him on the Indies and then we watched him in AEW and he would do his like dance and like Razor Ramon stuff, or more or less the dance in the middle of the match. I would always think it was like a little too silly. I was like, man, this guy's like one of the best like cool wrestlers, this and that, and then he just like all of a sudden throws this little.
He got
weird-
Riz.
Yo. And now when I watch in the WWE, I fucking love it. Is that weird?
Dude, listen. They
I don't
didn't
get it.
Yo, LaParca was doing that for years.
It was,
I know, but
for you, it
LaParca-
was like right guy, wrong time. Now it's
Yeah.
right guy,
Yeah,
right
but
time.
LaParca was never like this top of the card, like the
Oh,
the
yeah,
Lucha
he
Bros.
That's
he
true.
wasn't.
The
yeah,
Lucha
yeah.
Bros are like top of the card guys,
Yeah, I
you
guess
know,
that's
like
true. Yeah, Ray Phoenix
definitely-
had a WrestleMania match.
yeah, like
And he just got
They
there.
both
like
did.
either one of them could be like fill that Rey Mysterio void once he's on his retirement
it
kind of.
sucks
tour.
that tag teams aren't as popular because they should be like headlining pay-per-views as a tag team.
Yeah.
but like you got to make the tag team division stronger. It doesn't work.
Right, yeah. Like, who are they going to face that also warrants that WrestleMania
But
main
the
event?
Lucha
I mean, I
Bros.
feel like Lucha Bros and Street Profits would probably put
Yeah,
on like
Lucha
a banger.
Bros-
It's getting. I think that,
That
like,
would be a
it's
banger.
getting there. Like, that could be
or
a
Mo
huge
City Machine
match.
Guns. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a couple tag teams, but they just not highlighting them and utilizing them well in WWE. Kind of the same thing like the women's tag team. That forget about that. Like,
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
don't understand why they have such a problem with tag teams. I guess when I was growing up, like the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express, the Killer Bees, the British Bulldogs.
Well, say,
you
I'm,
know-
I'm not that old, but yeah, same kind of thing. Attitude era. You know what I mean? Like when it was the Dudleys, the Heart. You know what I mean?
Damn,
Like
I'm old.
Rock and Roll Express. Shout out, friend of the pod.
Man, Demolition.
Yeah, it's like Doom. Remember those guys? What's the other one? The Lumberjacks.
The Lumberjacks.
yeah.
The Bushwhackers.
Good
The
ones.
Kangaroo. No, the
Remember the
Lumberjacks.
Goodwins?
Yeah, the Godwins.
Godwins.
I remember the Godwins. Yeah, no, the Attitude Era had their fair share of great
Probably that's
tag
like more
teams.
right. You know what I mean?
Those
And
are-
just feel like just never. Just always fell to the wayside now.
Yeah.
You'll get
No,
like
it does. It really.
You'll
Like,
get to that moment where like you're like, oh shit, like they just picked up
Mm-hmm.
another tag team and they got these guys. Oh, we might get, and then it just
Yeah.
you just there's tag team wrestling.
yeah, no, tag team is not.
It's not even on like the pay per view. You know what I mean? It's on like the Raw after,
Yeah.
the SmackDown before.
It's crazy.
It is. It is. Well, yeah. Money in the Bank. I guess we're gonna get some more matches and stuff coming here. We got. What do we have between
Donkey
that?
must really just hate us.
I know. Saturday night's. What do we have? Saturday night's main event.
Absolutely
Yeah.
And
insane.
then
He's
Isn't there
he's
one more?
reading memes.
I'm not thinking Money in the Bank.
Bash and
Now he's touching
something.
his cock.
Nice.
Reading memes to like full
yeah, that
hand
is
on
insane.
penis.
It is insane for you to do that during a podcast.
What, touch my cock?
No.
What? Both. It's insane.
Both. I mean,
I'm blown away.
reading memes is more
How do you know I'm
insane.
not looking at the notes, bro?
I was watching you. It's like some dude incarcerated.
How do you know I'm not trying to make an impromptu? What if something just happened in wrestling? I got to be on Twitter. I got to
Breaking news!
I'm on Twitter refreshing the entire
Okay,
podcast.
And we have
Just-
Dunk here with breaking news.
I got to call an audible sometimes, bro.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Gunk
I was
was
actually watching Timberwolves fans do bumps. In
Yeah,
the,
I know.
In the stands.
cocaine.
Yeah, they were doing coke in the Timberwolves game.
We're gonna get this podcast back onto the road.
All right.
Moving on to the other side of the wrestling cinematic universe, AEW this week. Kind of a big episode. Well, I guess it was Beach Break, right? Beach Break.
Like I said earlier, I haven't been keeping up with it. I'm guilty of that, but I'm getting back on it. And it was a good episode of Dynamite.
Yeah. My boy Gabe. Kid,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
ready. They said
I wanted him to
Chet Hanks has debuted on AEW.
That's what he said.
I wanted him to show up, but like be with the ops.
Yeah.
I would have liked him with the ops, not with the Death Riders.
He's too much of a hater.
Yeah, and he just got that like shit talking in him, so it makes sense where he landed on it. But it's just dope to see him like on AEW. You know what I mean? Not just like New Japan
Yo,
and
he's
stuff
the
like that.
he's
on
the biggest
indies.
fucking thing going in wrestling right now. He's bigger than he's gonna be fucking huge.
Yeah.
I fucking love that guy. I'm not even joking. After watching a couple of his matches over the WrestleMania weekend for the Collective, that guy's going fucking.
Oh, you saw him in the Collective?
Yeah,
bro.
he
He's gonna be
That's awesome.
a future world champion many times over. He's the fucking man. Everything about him.
D-
You see
what-
future
is
world
it going to be
champions
like
WWE?
AEW? You think he would translate to WWE?
I think I've had this argument with a couple people, but I think that if I would have been Triple H like a month ago, my biggest fucking goal and my biggest MO would be make sure Gabe Kidd signs to WWE.
More than buying a whole entire organization
I'm
in
not
Mexico.
even. I swear to God. Yeah, I really think
okay.
Gabe Kidd is more important than anything.
see where they're
in
going with
Triple
that.
H.
That's why you're not running WWE.
They call him the gong.
Nah, bro.
Well, yeah.
I'd throw him right in NXT. He'd be
But
a
now
The
you
guy
got
was
Swerve.
touching his penis and reading memes.
Swerve came out and helped them. So with the Stadium Stampede, they'll be Swerve with them.
Now he's
and
looking at
then
baddies.
Swerve and Willow will be with the ops, and then
Tremendous.
the Young Bucks or they came out and helped.
Young Bucks
Death
were a good tag
Riders
team.
brought down a cage again. And we kind of got that moment.
Bloody Moxley.
Yeah, I don't get why the Bucks and like Moxley are just like cool with each other.
They kind of like, they're those dudes that like just like say, yo, what up in the hallways, you know?
Just
What?
they don't even say nothing. They just give you the head
Yeah,
nod.
heads up.
that?
Heads
Yeah,
up.
no. Actually, no, I do know what he's talking about. I do know what
like,
he's talking
yo,
about.
what up, yeah.
What?
No.
What do you
Just
mean
walk
you do
by,
know
like-
what he means?
Like, we're not making plans on Friday night, but we're definitely like
Yeah,
saying,
they're
You
not
guys
like
are beating
always.
people's asses together.
No, but they know they're like, we're not cool like that, but we know
We're
we
not
have to work
going- we're not
together.
cool. We're not going to
cool,
dinner.
We're not cool.
Exactly.
they're not dinner
Exactly.
together, but they'll fucking, yeah.
If we in the
okay,
same
we got
place
you.
together at the same time,
Exactly.
we're gonna hang out and
Exactly.
brunch and
Oh, yeah,
shit. But
there's-
like, don't call me after the show.
Right, exactly. We're doing business
They
and
got
that's
common
it.
enemy, yo.
I might have banged your girl.
Or do they give more like you know, like those friends you had only in school, like you wouldn't hang out with them outside of school. It's like the
basically-
Bucks are like, I can't bring
Yeah, they
Moxley
only-
home to my conservative
But at the
mother and
arena, he's
father.
fine.
Exactly.
Is this
Moxley's
the
gonna
first
smoke
time
cigarettes in my
that,
bedroom.
there's females gonna be
And
in
Moxley's like, yo, those dudes are going to try and push like the Bible on me.
Yeah, they're Bible thumpers.
Yeah.
Is this the first time females are involved in the Stadium Stampede? Because you got Willow and Marina Shafir. I don't think there's ever been females involved.
No.
They're in the
Roman's
match.
fact
It's
checking
pretty
me
sick.
on that.
I think you're 100% right there, Heck. Yeah.
I do think you
Yeah,
are
100%.
correct.
And that's official. They announced them, or that's
Yeah.
what it's going to be. Yeah. That's good
How
stuff.
many fucking people are in this match? Is Okada in this match?
It's mad people. It's like
Didn't they drive like?
Is Okada in this match?
Is this the one from? Is this the match where they did the golf cart spot?
Yeah.
So awesome.
Oh, it's a Stadium Stampede. I thought it was going to be a
No, yeah,
one of those
Stadium
war
Stampede.
games, Johns.
Blood
yeah,
games.
Stadium Stampede.
Blood and guts. Yeah, that's the worst name for a fucking match, by the way.
That is.
Yeah, I don't think
I've never seen one gut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
blood.
think there.
Blood.
I don't think there have ever been any women in it. Interesting.
It's not really interesting. I just
Gay.
don't think it's ever happened.
Kid. Whoa. Ready.
But it is cool
yeah.
seeing Gabe Kidd involved.
Yeah,
you know
Gabe
what I
Kidd grabbed the Halliburton.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
Well, yeah. Also on AEW last night, after weeks and weeks of courting,
We hurt people.
We
hurt people. We hurt people.
If you guys didn't know, MJF is now in her business.
Which is why
I loved how
got
Benjamin
his-
Shelton was like teasing like a super kick on him until you just like thought like,
Benjamin Shelton.
he's gonna get the thumb down from Bobby Lashley, and then it was like, oh shit, nope.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, it's just it's interesting.
He
It's
got to
a-
like buy bulk spray tanner now to like fit in.
Do you think?
that is,
Do you think he can say it now?
that's a good question. Can you imagine that he? Well,
My
that would be insane.
I don't even know what you guys just referenced. That.
could MJF say the word?
The word what?
N-bomb.
AEW. Let's go. What are we talking about here?
Jay's turning heel the whole podcast.
I mean, he got them to Ho
silly
Train.
stuff.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was definitely.
I was gonna
Very
say that
nice.
was like a very Godfather-esque angle.
Oh,
I
yeah.
kind of can't believe they like did
I
that.
can't believe they haven't
Like,
gotten canceled for that.
The
Yeah,
I
one
just think
chick
that,
was like a former wrestler and all too.
Really?
Like, oh man, that's where you're just a hoe on the show.
Yeah.
Man, well, you know. Did it like there was a wrestler that came from the hose.
What's more embarrassing,
Yeah.
being a former wrestler and then being on the Ho Train, or being
Being on
Von
the- Wagner
Wagner and then being on AEW security 1 week? Did you guys see that one time?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw
yes,
that.
Come
that's-
Tuesday. That's one of my favorite wrestling memes.
Yeah, that was good.
Yo, it's Come Tuesday.
Yeah. That guy had a match with Braun Breaker. That was insane.
So yeah, Double or Nothing is the
Tuesday.
pay per view, right?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
security.
Yeah, he's security. Also,
Tough gig.
Owen Hart Cup final. That's next week.
God, that thing's been fucking dragging its ass along for.
And it's weird because it's face and face, right? Adam Page and Will Ospreay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate
Interesting.
Adam Page. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I would have had like Kyle Fletcher,
His
and
new
then, so
music
it's like a
stinks.
blow off.
I just thought
or,
just him in
you know what I mean?
No,
general.
I like him. I like Adam Page a lot. The new music is like terrible,
I'm
and it
very
just
much not a fan of
and
him
it
at all.
destroys it. Like the whole beginning of the, there's 3 things in the beginning of the match, like Shawn Michaels would say, right? The entrance of this.
What's
And
his
it's
whole
like-
gimmick? He's just like a sad like cowboy.
He's
No,
like
he's
not-
just a cowboy
He's a
now.
Metro
not-
cowboy.
He used
Remember
to be
he
the
was kind of like a
anxious
pink
cowboy.
shirt and
Yeah,
like
that shit's
yeah,
suck.
but he doesn't sound like a cowboy with that new music. It's like
there's
no
more Brokeback
horses.
Mountain
there's
than
no-
Cowboy.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's weird, bro.
He looks like he's in the
Fix
Village
that
People.
music. Get those.
He's the Y in the Y.
I like the clanking of the horses, the horseshoes or whatever, the noises.
Yeah. The cowboy stuff.
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
big punk guy. You can't respect what he did to win into
Listen,
business for
I
himself.
take everything for itself.
You take everything
Okay.
for itself.
Nah,
so what,
it's
so what do you
just
take
one-
that for then?
Because they tagged
Yeah,
against
one night he fucked
Takeshita
up, but
and who did they just fight last night? Takeshita and wow, I go blank.
He had one bad night. I'm not going to ruin his whole career because he was
But
a
count-
dummy
Oh,
one
yeah,
night.
you talking shit about that would ruin his whole career.
No, I'm saying I'm not going to say his whole career sucks because he did
No,
that one
his whole
stupid
career
thing.
sucks because his whole career. Nah, I'm not going to go
He's
that far.
awesome.
Who did they
No,
fight
he's
last
a good worker.
He's
I'm
incredible
not
worker.
the biggest fan of the gimmick.
Takeshita and
Takeshita and Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander. Why? That's why he's
Yeah.
still fresh over there for me.
Cauliflower
I
ear,
know.
Josh.
I love him
Alexander.
being. I just hate that he keeps taking losses already, and I'm like, yo, this man was like a weapon. Like,
I just
Yeah.
love that it's like TNA Civil War. It's like half the guys are going over to fucking got
AEW
Mike
half
Bailey
going
and fucking Josh, and you got Joe Hendry and
Yeah.
Jordan
I
Grace.
believe in Joe Hendry.
clap, clap.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. Josh Alexander also, I forgot how long he's like been in the business.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
He's been around.
I forgot that he was AEW.
For real. And finally, speaking of hires from Zach Gowen
Uh-oh.
is in AEW.
well, like I've said, I don't
Is
care
that
what
the
you
one-leg bandit?
Yes.
you call it a squash. It's not a squash match. Roman likes to call
It
it.
is. He got no
He
offense.
was there with his like kid. He had like Ricochet like reeling. Like he didn't have. Like,
Him
Ricochet
versus-
didn't know how to handle him and shit.
I
Yeah.
did you see that? I saw that earlier. He tried to grab his other leg.
He
and
tried
was
to
like,
put
nah,
like
like-
a
figure four,
submission
yeah.
hold. Yeah.
yeah, it's-
Well, him versus Brock Lesnar is still like
Brock
one of my.
Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar was one of my favorite.
Oh,
You
yeah.
mean him versus Redacted?
right.
And now
exactly.
it's like
He's on the
he was there
roster
with like his
still.
kid and
They
shit.
just added them back to the roster. Woody, somebody tell Woody they just added them back to the roster this week.
pretty good.
Was it right after that CM Punk post?
Yeah, seriously. The fake CM Punk post. Yeah, I mean that match, like you said, you just say it's not a squash match. Zach Allen versus Brock Lesnar, but
Insane, bro.
It was
Such a-
fun. It was fucking.
Fun,
It was what
not
it
for-
was.
Not for him.
Yes, it was. It
Or his
was fun
mother.
for him.
Dude.
Like this motherfucker, like he's got
Get
one
thrown around
leg.
like a javelin.
He like telling his kid that
that's how
like
you
he fought
pronounce
like
that.
Brock Lesnar, and he's
That
like,
is true. That is
"No,
true.
you didn't, Dad." You know what I mean? You got to pull up on YouTube. He's like, "You can't wrestle," and he's like,
He's
"You
bleeding
still
like a
got
pig.
it." Yeah, that's true. Yeah, whatever.
in
You
front of
know.
his
Insane.
mother,
It's
his
a
mom.
fucking one-leg dude, man. Like, you know,
Insane. Absolutely insane
And then
match.
what do they say? It's like a one-legged man in an
And
ass-kicking
Vince- and
contest.
Literally.
and then of course the great your buddy Vince McMahon he wrestles Zach Gallen
He did?
Yeah.
in another bloodbath.
Yeah.
Really?
A lot of one-legged activities going
Let
on.
my man live.
Montez grabs
We should
the
watch that next.
Montez grabs the fucking
Yeah, that
prosthetic
guy's
leg the other week.
prosthetic.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, Zach Gowen versus Ricochet. What's going on?
It's having a research.
Equal opportunity hiring, man.
Yeah,
Guess so.
exactly.
Speaking of equal opportunity,
You got weed?
no,
I thought it was
what's
gonna be-
his name on NXT? The old Miles.
Oh,
Miles Bourne.
Yeah, Miles Bourne.
He's winning all across the board. He's dating Stephanie Vicor now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he's
that's
related to Evan Bourne. Did you hear that?
Is that true?
That's his brother.
Matt Bourne too, cousin.
Yep,
Doink.
Born again.
Okay. Yeah.
And Jason Bourne.
Yep.
Yeah, and him too.
Dog, that's his neighbor.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, the Zach Allen Ricochet angle.
You don't got if you got a disability, you could still have ability. You know what I mean? Like,
He's the
Yeah.
man, Zach Gallen.
Yeah, I mean,
Shout out
into
to
it.
him.
yeah, I thought that was crazy. I mean, the last person I was expecting to see.
oh, 1,000%. Like I
But-
thought I'd never see it. I thought we would just always
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about the legend of
Zach
you know what I mean?
Allen
Like
versus-
when he
It's
fought
gotta
Brock
be.
Lesnar. Like,
Yeah,
That's gotta be Zach Gowen.
yeah.
They should put that match in the Hall of Fame next. You know they got
WWE.
they got what Austin versus Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. The
and then
next year it's Zach
Brock
Allen
Lesnar.
versus
I thought you were gonna do
Lesnar.
Zach Gowen versus Ricochet.
Neither,
No, no.
neither of them.
That would-
Neither of them could show up. Brock Lesnar's banned from WWE, and Zach Allen works for another company.
He doesn't really work. I think they just
they
kind of
could pay him
rented
for
him.
one night.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true.
Kind of like a prosty.
Okay. Next up, we got some quick hits for you. First up, Will Ospreay taking shots at WWE, saying that AEW smokes them in everything, every category.
Yeah, what about fucking money and tickets?
That's what we say.
Yeah,
like
that's
filling
what we
seats.
said. I also said,
Yeah, I mean, there's some my bad. There's some talent that you know what I mean. Like, can be up there, but there's a lot that aren't. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and it's just a reality of it. Like,
Well, what the fuck do you
he
expect
can
him to
speak
say?
for himself, but you know what I mean. Like, you suck the boss off to keep him happy. Like,
Yeah, no, just like
Well, yeah, what do you expect him to say?
well, sure, of course,
Right,
but I
right.
said what I said was he didn't really even have to say that. He just can be like give a more kind of diplomatic, middle of the road answer, because now people are going to people
Right,
are
yeah.
going to clown you. Like, I'm sorry, like.
I don't care how good you are, you're
Exactly.
tripping.
We were talking about it earlier. Like the only thing they're close to even in is in-ring talent. I tend that AEW may be on the little bit better side of actual literal in-ring talent, but otherwise it's like not even a contest.
and that's just because the WWE doesn't allow them that canvas. you know?
Right, exactly. And that and otherwise it's not even like. And again, I'm not speaking from like opinion. I'm not like an AEW hater. I like AEW, but it's there's just a very clear divide. I you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I don't think that it's that much of a crazy take to be like less ticket sales, production, like all that stuff.
Storytelling, like
Storytelling's
yeah.
a huge one.
Well, yeah, I also don't. Yeah, I don't expect him to
But
say
yeah.
any of that. You know,
But,
he can
no,
point
but
any
it's,
of
like,
that
it's
out.
like if anything, if you're in the NBA and you're a basketball player or whatever your profession is, if you don't feel like you know what I mean, you're the best. That's why like I used to laugh about it back in the day when like boxers and shit would be like, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
I'm the best, I'm the baddest, and I'm just like. You're not, but like if you don't believe in that in yourself, definitely
Yeah.
no one's gonna
Okay,
believe
but
it.
I'll
So-
just take it a little step further.
Yeah.
Like, just don't even talk about the other companies. Fuck it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
why the kid from NXT and Ricochet getting into it the
Well,
week
Javon
before.
Evans.
Well, you know why?
First of all, friend of the show.
well, you
Jamal
know
Evans.
why?
Young
Because
OG.
they're not on the same. They're not on the same level as them. And every time he does talk about them, it's good.
It's good press. No publicity, bad publicity.
And
Well,
it's not like he's burning
That is
any
true.
bridges. No, I mean like maybe a couple of the boys in the locker room
Yeah,
at
no.
WWE was going to be like, "Oh man, he said this," but like in reality, is Hunter not going to hire him? No,
Right, because
I
of
don't
one
think
thing
he'd
he
ever go
said.
there anyway. Just not personality wise.
Well,
I just
that's
think,
what he said.
Could
but
be like
I
for a
don't think
crackhead.
it's
No.
bro.
Shout out to friend of the show,
He would,
Javon.
I mean, they got the opportunity now to make a lot of money, so it's not about money to go to the WWE. And then, like, let's say, like, he goes over to the WWE and he just gets lost in the shuffle and he's a mid-carder. That's what people are going to remember him as, and he doesn't.
Sure,
want
but
that.
also
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't think he's getting lost in the show.
I didn't say he was or wasn't, but I'm saying that's a possibility. People have doubt.
You're right.
They have gout.
Yeah, it's big feet.
I think that's how Zach Gowen lost his
Galton.
fucking foot.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't think that's true. We can't verify that.
Is,
Yeah, on that same wave, Javon Evans, friend of the show, had some harsh words for Ricochet on Twitter.
didn't
Not
show
even for Ricochet,
Not
really.
even- right,
For
about to say,
not
yeah.
Tony Khan.
Tony
Or
Khan,
for Tony
Khan
Khan.
caught some strays on that one.
It started with the
Tony
Ricochet
Khan's like the
beef.
50 Cent being like, why the fuck you say fuck me for?
Yeah. What did he say? You work with a crackhead or whatever? Oh my god, it's crazy.
Either way. But I mean, once again, Javon Evans nor the rest of the IWC showed up to Ricochet's autograph signing where he said, "Nobody in my autograph signing called me bald. Nobody in my autograph signing said I suck. That's the real world." And he's right. These people on the internet, they're a bunch of jabronis.
Well,
Were there a bunch of what?
Jabronis.
not what he said.
I still do agree with Dunky saying that no one's gonna buy a ticket and travel all the way to your meet and greet just to say you
Imagine
suck.
it's parking. Like,
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
how much I would have to go into that? Like,
Yeah.
Hey, what about being the haters' ball?
Haters ball.
Woody, that's why Woody couldn't make it this week.
Where's the tweet? I'm trying to find.
He's got the haters ball with Ricochet.
Yeah. Next up, Velveteen Dream, talking a lot of shit, saying he's gonna ruin wrestling just like John Cena.
Said Seth Rollins stole his whole gimmick.
Yeah, I don't see it. You know,
I mean, he used
frankly,
to come out with the crazy like clothing,
True.
and mirroring
By the
other
way, it's not his
wrestlers.
foot, it's his leg.
okay. We're on to something else.
I can see,
Astro-
but it's like
I
a
can't
definitely
read that
like
word. What's
a
that word?
super stretch.
Yeah. Sorry, we're gonna pause again. What are you asking me?
Read, dick.
Osteosarcoma,
Yeah, dude, that's what happened to his leg.
bone cancer. Great. We
You guys
now,
are
Good for his leg. I thought he had
we
diabetes.
now found out what happened to Zach.
You guys are
Gallen.
just very mean and just.
I thought,
No, we're not.
I
In the
thought
middle
Brock
of-
Lesnar ripped it off.
100 Zach Gallons versus a gorilla.
Well, that's not even fair.
Look. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about. Yeah, Velveteen Dream.
That's only 50 legs. Bro. That's fucking-
the Seth Rollins thing. I don't really see
You
it.
said it.
But yeah, you're right. He used to come out with the crazy outfits. He had like the remember he had like
That's
the
literally the only
Yeah.
thing, and then it's like
what else?
I'm gonna show you like this 1%,
Seth
and
Rollins-
I'm gonna like stretch it out and reach
Wait,
for the
is
rest.
Seth Rollins'
Exactly.
gimmick DMing underage boys? I wasn't aware.
I mean,
because if so, then he's definitely stealing
Allegedly.
Let's hope
Velveteen
not.
Dream's gimmick.
Velveteen Dream was not dressed. He was dressing. He would also like.
dressed like other wrestlers.
Yeah,
and
he would
stuff.
have some.
I thought he
kind
was
of
just like
influence.
Prince. I thought his whole gimmick was just being Prince.
Prince-ish,
It
Michael
was definitely a little
Jackson.
Prince-ish. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was
God.
a little more Michael Jackson. I
Yeah,
mean, it makes sense. It does
I
make
wasn't gonna
sense
go there.
for Velveteen Dream
Yeah, yeah.
being more like Michael Jackson. Yeah.
I was not going to say it.
Got to be started
All right.
something.
This is off the rails.
Yeah,
Next
yeah.
up, Swerve Strickland getting his
Gotta get
own.
over.
He's never
Don't
getting over
get
anymore.
Swerve Strickland's getting his own sneaker. Jay, how do you feel about
The
that?
I
answer.
want them. I3s.
I3.
Yeah,
Questions.
some Iversons.
Threes.
Based
Yeah.
on his Black Panther
Yeah, that was sick.
Killmonger gear. Yeah.
Yeah, those
They're
you got
ugly
a
as
link?
fuck.
Yeah, they're butt
No,
ugly.
I like them.
but
I
it's-
like them. You got a link?
They're super trash.
You think Swerve and
No
AI?
wrestler has had a good
Wait,
shoe.
you think Swerve and AI are gonna
Oh,
like
I
kick it?
like them. I like the New Day gold ones. Those were nice.
Oh my god!
No.
All right, we're not talking to you anymore.
Yeah, you're dumb.
Sasha
Roman
Banks
Reigns Jordans were the closest thing.
Sasha
yeah,
Banks
those like
had it.
never actually came out. did
Yeah,
they?
they never came out. Sasha Banks had a sneaker, didn't she?
Yes.
No, the only
Brody Brody
No,
Lee.
the only-
Those are God rest his soul. Those are horrible.
Those
Yeah.
are god awful. The only good wrestling sneaker were the pandas with just. It's literally just like pandas with like just a belt on the.
Yeah.
like a WWE championship belt on the laces.
The lace hold.
Yeah, the lace hold.
That was it.
It's just a WWE belt.
Good God, the Sasha Banks sneakers are horrible.
Let me see.
Yeah,
Are they
yeah.
awesome?
Oh my God, they're like those.
I wouldn't
fucking-
waste my money on that.
They're like those Fila's, but they're all gold and purple.
They're
That's like hard to
Fila's?
look at. Yes.
That is sick.
Nobody
Jay
can
needs
get.
a pair of those. What size are you?
I think they're women's.
What size are you?
So they have men's.
So you gotta go up
sizes.
They
two
don't make
sizes.
men's.
So you go up 2 sizes. What size would you be?
I'm guessing 9.5. I'm
There's
like
literally
11
not
and
a
a half.
single size listed on StockX. Everyone's like, "We're
They're
gonna
all
buy
in
this."
a fucking warehouse.
Yeah,
still.
no, they're in the or in a fireplace.
There's no one.
No, I think, I think little kids in like Haiti are wearing them because they wouldn't
How
sell.
many people have the ISO button on there?
The what?
The in search of. How many people are looking for it?
It's StockX. They
Yeah.
don't have that.
The Swerve answers coming to a third world country near you.
Those like kids that wrestle in like Uganda on like the
Yo,
mud.
soft ground,
ground.
soft ground. Shout out to
No,
soft
those
ground.
kids be they be having the
Yeah,
dogs
they
out.
had who was there? Who was at soft ground? Somebody like Dijak or something.
Like ants, yeah, Mace and
Yeah.
Dijak.
Maasai and Dijak.
Yeah, it was like one of them.
I think
that's
Retribution should. I think Flapjack or Slapjack
That's the only
or
one.
whatever his name was.
Flapjack. Flapjack. They're the only ones booking them now.
Slappy or whatever his name was.
The
Oh,
crowbar,
man.
mace, slapjack.
Yeah, that was it. Crowbar was the other guy.
Just like a
Crowbar's
tool.
sick.
That's just no, it's not.
Crowbar the wrestler. I like him. Him and Sabu had a sick cage match.
When in what federation?
That's a different crowbar.
Right, different whole. We're
I
talking
think
about
it was Another
retribution.
crowbar.
Yeah, I don't remember that guy.
It's good reason.
Anyway, next up, sad
Those are
news.
the guys who used to turn the lights out.
Okay.
So
Right?
Sabu made that. By the way, I forgot to say gimmicks that Sabu fucking or tropes that Sabu put on. Sabu was turning the lights out and appearing before the Undertaker. By the way.
Well, I mean, that was going
Yeah.
on once again in Memphis.
Oh, shut up, Jay.
You're old.
You guys have small penises.
Okay.
Memphis. Nobody's even been there before.
That's true.
I don't think it exists.
Yo,
It exists.
I just want to say, get well to JR. He's got colon cancer.
Ooh.
Yeah, this guy's always
There's
getting.
always something wrong with him. I mean,
It's an old man.
You're old. Yeah, he's old.
Remember that one time he's like, I fell in my hotel room. Looked like he got the shit beat out of him. It was like,
I can't believe we're laughing. You're laughing, gunk.
It's like what happened to. It's like what happened to. What's his name?
fucking Jay Leno. He's like, I fell down the hill.
You guys
What
are
fucking hill did you fall down,
all
Jay
just
Leno?
laughing. It's not by me.
JR is 73.
How old is Jay Leno? Those guys.
Yeah, well, I ever told you the joke about the chin?
Like me and JR some loan sharks.
I have a
He's 75. Jay Leno's 75.
Yo, yeah, they're just
Jay Leno for a JR car ride.
those two are just going out on the town, just betting their lives away, just getting the shit kicked out of them.
I
Like, every
really
month.
hope not. Regardless,
Remember when JR told the story that Sonny offered her services to him?
That's pretty sick. I have I met JR
that is true. This is you could say
in
that.
high school, and he told my dad, he's like, get some groceries in that boy. He could play for the Sooners.
He was Oklahoma through and through. Or
He
he's
wasn't
Oklahoma.
thinking about wrestling. Yeah, he just wanted to make sure Oklahoma had
Listen.
fucking.
Well, you were playing football at the
Bosses.
time. Is that not correct?
I was, but
Running your head into stop signs. If I
I do remember that.
I was.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
You got to callous the brain.
Well, yeah. Listen. Shout out to JR. We hope you get better.
Shout out to JR. Shout out to JA.
You're right. I'm here.
And finally, the Good Brothers sign with New Japan.
They're back home. We knew they would land. That's where that's their safe spot.
What a
you know what I
climactic
mean?
ending to this podcast.
They've left and came back many a times.
Yeah, these
You
fucking
climaxed?
guys.
You've been touching your penis the whole time.
Well, these guys might be in climax. The New Japan.
I mean, they
tournament.
know their careers on the
Yeah,
you know on the down end. It's wrapping up.
I
And
saw-
it's just where they did to get a lot of respect over there.
Are they going to
Bullet
rejoin
Club.
the Bullet Club down there?
Gallows, I saw had some beard ointment or something he was selling. I don't know.
Oh, yeah?
I saw
I mean,
I
he got
saw
a
it
good beard.
sponsored. I was scrolling through Instagram.
It
It
does
was
have a
like
good
it was
beard.
like get the
A good
Gallows beard treatment. I was like, oh
Wow.
And we found
Jay
out
goes,
earlier
"Oh."
that Carl Anderson was the fake Kane.
Carl.
no, that was Luke
Gallows.
Gallows.
Luke
Gallows.
Gallows.
What
sorry.
the fuck is wrong with
I didn't
that?
knew that.
Carl Anderson's like 5'4".
Yeah,
I
you're
was
right,
about to
actually.
say, yeah.
I always
He
forget
was
which one's which.
the cocaine.
I always,
He was doing
I always
cocaine.
forget which one's which. Well, yeah, shout out to them.
He always talks about his hot Asian wife. He's got a hot Asian wife, apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He never stops talking
And
about it.
Gallows
one
was,
time he was like,
Festus.
yeah, remember that one time he was
What?
like
He had
cheating on her? And,
asbestos?
No, his Gallows was Festus. Not
Oh.
he had asbestos.
yo, do you remember
Oh,
that
shit.
one time he was cheating on his hot Asian wife, and she took a picture of him asleep on the couch and wrote "cheater" on his forehead, and she was like, "This fucking guy comes home drunk," and like, and then
Oh, that's
nobody ever
crazy.
He's
talked
living
about
that
it
wrestling
again.
life, man.
Yeah, for real.
Bro, and pull that up for the people.
Yeah, I'll do that.
For the people, by the people.
Okay.
I did it for the rock for the people.
Look, thank God it's time for us to get out of here because you guys are the worst.
How long we go today?
An
Pretty
hour?
much an hour, yeah.
Yeah. As
Gotta
always,
get heck home.
make sure you listen to this podcast. Make sure you listen to Grappling with the Gilmans. Hit us on the web.
What are those
Shop-
little guys up to?
talking about AEW, talking about how they hated the new AEW intro with Psalm 41.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess they're not like in their 30s, so I don't really expect them to.
Or 50s. I loved it. I don't want to waste your time.
Okay.
Casualty. Society.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to hit the web, shopsvw.com. Hit us on Instagram,
Elbow drop that follow
svw.worldwide, svw.orlando on the store down in Florida. And
R.I.P. Sabu.
R.I.P. Sabu.
R.I.P. Sabu.
That's all I got.
Sabu.
No, don't even play the outro
I'm
song.
about to say, play
Sab-
his music
save
as the
Sabu's theme
outro.
song.
I'll just play it so we don't have to hear what the people don't need to hear what you guys are hearing.
Shout out to Harry Slash, one of the greatest theme songs of all time.
Legend. Guy, the fucking
Yeah, absolute
legend.
legend. Thank you very much. With that, we are out. R.I.P. Sabu.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
I did the post.